That's the 6K.
Oh, cool.
Well, good evening and welcome to the free Zoom meeting for scriptwriters and filmmakers. My name's Christine Whitlock, and I'm your moderator tonight. And today is November 1st, 2021. We have our Lost Souls party for some of us who dressed up from Halloween, and we also have a presentation after our introductions by Vivien Lee on her documentary. So first off, we'll go around and if you want to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and what you've been working on the last 2 weeks. So Doug Nelson, you're up first.
Yeah, well, I'm out here in Oregon, still here in Oregon, haven't moved. I have no intention of it. And I've been working on doing some vMix live streaming production for television. That's all I've been working on.
Great. Pat Semler, you're next.
Yeah, hi, I'm in Kissimmee, Florida. I got my beat sheet straightened out for the sci-fi detective story I've been working on. And now I just got to get back into writing the scenes. I have been on LinkedIn, just looking to connect with producers and writers. I connected with several people in Australia. And just trying to keep a regular schedule.
Great. Jeffrey.
Can you hear me, Christine?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And I sort of gave my pilot screenplay a bit of an overhaul, just based on some of the information that I've received. I joined Stage 32 and I participated in a couple of the webinars there, and I actually found them very, very informative. Just taking in a lot of information. I've decided to do a short, for lack of a better word, a part of my pilot. I'm going to do it myself with the help of a friend. And so I'm just going to start the casting for that in the next 2 weeks and just learn as I go and just take it all in. When I had that sort of epiphany, it was sort of the day after the first call that I was involved in with your group. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try and do this myself instead of relying on other people. And I heard someone say, if there were two scripts that were being pitched and one of the people pitching the script had a short or had a portion or something to show prospective producers, then you're going to have a lot better chance of moving forward with your project. So I'm going to try and do that. And I also had a very nice Zoom call with Dr. Pauline last Friday, and that was really great. So that's what I've done in the last 2 weeks.
And what is the genre of your pilot?
It's a thriller. It's basically a family escaping the pandemic, but it involves international arms sales, mental health, addiction, and sex.
Good. Okay, Nick.
Hi everybody. Happy Halloween. Yeah. Right now I'm located in SF area, California. In addition to my full-time job in tech marketing, I'm working on a short right now. I'm just working on the suspense mini series, Laura Williams' Face of the Milk Carton, 1994. So I'm about 8 to 10 pages in, not quite the goal that I wanted from before, but I did work on my outline and the layout, and I'm building up on it. So I do have a lot of ideas. I think my main challenge is just since I have a lot of ideas, my outline is relatively big. It's just pick and choose and condensing it. So it falls into the short category. So yeah, I'll continue working on that until the next meeting. And then also, I mentioned in my last call that I'm doing some pre-script development for a holiday movie that I want to work on. And the idea will be focusing on, three brothers and their family, which includes 4 generations from, great grandparents to great grandkids who are in high school. The great grandparents, one of them just turned 100, but it'll be revolving around the COVID era in the US, and it'll be like a very complex type of story, which focuses on current issues such as mental health, divorce, depression, death, drug abuse, suicide, how COVID affected them in kind of a long term. So yeah, I'm excited about that, but I'll be doing pre-script development, like outline, and then closing up my mini series Suspense. And
Great.
yeah, I
Good.
think that's about it. Yeah, but yeah.
Good.
And then our next call will be the 15th, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So
Okay, Barbara, we haven't seen you for a bit.
Hi everyone. Yes, I've been away. I am currently working on my rewrites from a script. It was a drama with some romance elements to it last year that I've written. So I'm still focusing on that on and off. I am busy with other things as well. So that's pretty much what I've been up to since the last time I've seen you.
Great, good. Shadow.
Let's see. Been doing some writing, organizing the Independent Producers Guild. We're in the middle of our incorporation procedures and starting to do plan information meetings for people. International Independent Producers Guild, I should say. That is taking some time, but I'm also prepping the music crowdfunding for the Eartha Kitt film, and discussing with various producers and arrangers on some of that music. And as far as writing is concerned, I started writing a new script on Sin 13. This one is for somebody else to direct, the very first time that I've let somebody else direct one of my pieces, and it's actually a young protege of mine named Maya George, and I'm going to give her the script and kind of see what she does with it. It'll be her first directorial thing as well. So we'll see how that goes. I think she'll do good.
Good. Vivien.
Hi everyone, I have been working on my pitch deck for my rom-com, and it's just taking a huge amount of time, and I've been preparing for this presentation, so that's all I have.
Good. Patricia Tichler.
Oh, hello everyone. I'm sorry for not turning on the video, but I'm in Estonia right now and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so apologies. I just came to say hello. Hopefully in 3 weeks, I'll be back in Brazil, so the time zone difference won't be so bad. So for now, it's just a quick hello. I've been working on 2 projects right now. One, it's a TV series, a drama TV series that I've been developing for a few years. And the other one is a drama feature about nomadic people, but not nomadic like nomad lands, international nomads. So digital nomads and people who live on the road for a long time, which I am, by the way, so I write from personal experience.
Oh, good. Keith Chamberlain. Are you there, Keith? Oh, there he is.
Hi. So, sorry. So where am I? I'm actually in the midst of rewriting an episode that we're going to be filming. I'm going to be filming for my web series in a couple of weeks. Probably start doing the casting, probably tonight once I log off here with you guys. and get everything ready. Meet with my cinematographer and sound person tomorrow. Secure location releases tomorrow as well for a couple of places that I was able to negotiate over the weekend, and get these scripts out to the actors hopefully by Wednesday. So we do a little read through over the weekend, and then get everything arranged for people to come up on next weekend, and film for 3 days in Pennsylvania and film an episode there and see and go from there.
And what genre is it?
Crime thriller.
Crime thriller. Great. Rosie.
Hey everyone. So I feel like I've done a lot of stuff in the last 2 weeks, but it's sort of kind of like blurred together. I was finishing up some work on a script, which was like a movie of the week, a thriller, like romance thriller. So I was able to finish that up and edit it and everything, going through the editing process. And then I submitted it to see, like, I just kind of want to know what the feedback is on that. Haven't heard back yet, and I'm not sure when I would hear back, but I'm just kind of glad that I got that.
Where did you submit it? Where?
So it's like I guess production company that was looking for movie of the week types, like 9X structure, similar vein to something like Hallmark, but more like less, I guess, romance or comedy and more thriller. I'm not entirely sure. Like, this would be like the first time I'm doing something.
Was it through Inktip?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Yeah, so I did that, and then I wanted to start on like kind of just another one, and so I did. I've been working on that, and I think that's taken up most of my time. I finished a film track, so I'm basically looking for the next thing that I'm going to be doing. So that's a job in itself in a way, and I'm just kind of working on some writing here and some consultancy for that, and coming to these meetings. So yeah, I've been a bit busy for that.
Rosie, if you don't mind sharing the link, if that's okay. I mean, with where you submitted.
I'll just have to look for it if I still have it around.
Okay, or you can email it to me. You have my email address, right? So, okay, great.
Okay.
I should.
Okay,
yeah, I think
you.
in
Yeah, I think we
Christine's
connected.
email,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
No problem.
Doug McDougall.
Good evening, folks. Just kind of doing some virtual promo for my show coming up. So it is Cinderella If the Shoe Fits, a musical comedy online via Zoom. So I've had a very productive couple of weeks. Last Saturday, a week ago, we held our auditions. I have 26 cast members from all over North America involved through the courtesy of Zoom. It's a great ensemble cast. Everyone who auditioned was offered a role. Now, some turned them down, but they were all offered a role of sorts. And I have cast from California, Chicago, Connecticut, New York City, the GTA, which is the Greater Toronto Area, Montreal, and Vancouver. So we have quite the spread across 3 time zones, which is really interesting to work with. I've been busy the last couple of days working on backing tracks and lead tracks for their music. We actually held our first rehearsal last week, and beyond the read-through, that is. And the read-through was a great success. Everyone was really, once you hear something being read aloud, it makes such a difference than just reading it on your own, because it comes to life for the people who are even just reading it. And some people didn't get some of the jokes until they heard them out loud. And I write the really worst or the best dad jokes and puns. So once they heard them out loud, it's like, or double entendres. Once they heard them, it just made their day or made their evening. Rehearsals have been going really well. I have an associate director What she'll do is she'll do an Italian, which in theater terms is running lines with the people before I actually meet them in a workshop and workshop the scene, so that their pacing is up to speed. Because when you do a pantomime, it really needs to be at a full pace. If it slows down, the audience is going to get lost or whatever, or lose interest. So it really needs to be at a fast clip to really keep moving the story forward. I created a private Google Drive site for a one-stop shopping site for all the cast members. It is an ensemble cast too. It's not that, oh, it's Cinderella and the others. No, it's an ensemble cast. Ensemble, from the French word, means together. We work together as a cast, kind of like community theater. And everybody just seems so supportive of each other, which is a really great thing to see. We had our first master class on Saturday, which I ran morning and afternoon, so they could attend one class or the other. As a former teacher, I had to put my teacher hat on. And as a French teacher, I taught them how to do accents in French. We talked about costumes and even the history of what pantomime is. And we had breakout rooms so they could meet one-on-one with each other and learn something about each other, about their kind of backstory. And they also had an opportunity to create their own character backstory too, which I think is great. I gave them my 2 cents, but I wanted them to develop it even further. So as you can see, I've been quite busy the last couple of weeks, but it's really been productive, and I'm really looking forward. It's going to be a great cast of people to work with.
Good, good. Karen Thomas.
Hi, I am still working out my beats for my pilot, that is the horror crime thing, and it's been interesting because it's like been competing with some other things I have going on in my more literary world, which is very demanding all of a sudden, and my business. So I'm going to be back on it probably in about 2 weeks, and my mom goes in for surgery, which is something else that we're preparing for. Yeah, and she's 88, so that's very, very interesting. And that's my life right now.
Good. Sherry, we haven't seen you for a bit. Nice for you to come back.
Yeah, I got the timing wrong last fortnight and missed it. Yeah, a little bit's happened since I was last on. Last week I got into university to do a bachelor's of film, television and animation.
Great.
So something I've always wanted to do, but never thought I could actually get into that kind of course. So I have as a mature age student, and so that starts in March next year. So I'm already planning what I'm going to be doing for assignments and short films, and now I'm going to get ahead of it or something. So I'm loving that. And Alex isn't here today. Well, he's very busy at the moment.
He has signed
he's
up.
He started filming some of the shorts.
Yes.
So mine was shortlisted, but I just missed out this time. So it probably won't be till next year. And so yeah, that's basically. I'm still plugging away writing things, and yeah.
Good. And then myself, I'm still editing my Christmas Toy Maker Christmas romance, and I took a lot of pictures at Niagara Falls for my Baptism Falls thriller action script at Niagara Falls, and so I'm writing down different things from the photographs so I can work on the script better. And then after Vivien's talk, I'll tell you about, I signed up for American Film Market, and which started today. So I'll tell you what's happened and what I'll do different next time. Okay, so everybody's introduced themselves. And so Vivien, now you can tell us about your documentary.
I do need to show.
Okay, so you want to be.
So I do need to do a share screen, do I?
Okay, just a minute. Let me see. Make co-host. Okay, so I made you co-host, so you should be
Okay.
able to share the screen.
So I should be able to share my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, share. All right, great. Do you see it?
Yes. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. All right, great. Hold on 1 second here. This thing. All right. Show. How come it doesn't resume session? Okay, right. So good evening, everyone. This is a documentary that I worked on for many, many years. And we had it premiere this year. And then because of COVID, everything stopped. We were locked down for 3 months. And we just started, Sydney just started to open up. So we don't know what we are going to do yet. Maybe we wait until next year for further screening. So this documentary is a feature documentary, and it's about 2 young Australian nurses who joined the army during World War I to search for adventures, because during this time, the young women did not have a lot of opportunity to travel. So for them, it's an excitement to travel overseas. And but when they went overseas, they went to Egypt, and then they were sent to Egypt and Gallipoli and France, and they worked right near the front line, and that gave them a complete experience. And so this is what this film is about. For the people who haven't seen, has anyone seen the trailer? So I think I just let you watch the trailer so you understand a little bit about the film.
Vivien, can you pop the link into the chat for us for YouTube?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, so let me get back to, hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Okay, right. So what I would like to go through with you today, and not in any of this order is a story and how the film begin and how do we choose the characters and the access problems to locations and to interviews and our strategy about production to make a small budget film look much bigger. For those of you, I think Sherry, you are from Australia, is that right?
Yes, in Melbourne.
Okay, so I guess that you would be the only person who understands the Anzac legend.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with what you're sharing there.
So Anzac is a big holiday here in Australia because Anzac was formed during World War I to recruit men and women to fight in World War I. And every year since then, there's a huge celebration of Anzac every year. And it's a national holiday, just like July the 4th in the US. So let me, for those of you who don't understand, let me
They might not know what ANZAC stands for.
This Australian New Zealand Army Corporation. So I like to show you because this film was made because of Anzac. So let me show you just a clip to show you what the Anzac celebration is like in Australia. These things. Sorry. How do I move this thing here? It just, this panel, okay. Okay, so that's how Anzac is celebrated. It was celebrated every year, and as you see, there's soldiers, and you don't see nurses, you don't see women there, and only in just a few years ago that women started marching, leading the march, and then it stopped. And so we want to use that film to raise awareness about the contribution of the nurses in wars, and we'll lobby for nurses to march in this on Anzac Day. And as you know, they did not hold guns, but the sacrifice is as big as the soldiers. And also they bear the scars of wars that people don't know about because there's no organization, just like VA veterans organization to bring the awareness to them. All right, so let me go back to the presentation here. And so, like I say, it's a tribute to the Army nurses. And so how did, first we spent because this is a film made by a film school. And we can't hire people from outside. We're not allowed to hire people from outside. So only students and alumni and teachers were allowed to work on the film, or if other people work on the film, they need to work for free. We can't pay them. And so this is the reason why we work only when we have resources. And it took us 2 years of shooting, about 30 days of shooting. And during that time, we just edit when we can. So what is, how did this film begin? As I mentioned before, this film is a tribute to Anzac. And in 2012, the Australian government put aside a budget for the celebration of the centenary of Anzac, or the anniversary of 100 years of World War I. And they went to the community and they say, if you have a project that has to do with Anzac, that brings awareness to Anzac, we give you some money to make it. So the fund started in 2012 to 2018. That's where the war ended. And our film school is based in a council of Malcolm Turnbull, who later became prime minister, but he wasn't prime minister then. And his council had some fun. So he came to our school and he said, do something. If you want to do something about Anzac, we support you. So we give you recommendation and you can get some fun. And so we say, wow, it's not every day that people come to us and say, here's some money and do whatever you want. Just make a film. And so there's one teacher in our school who have done documentary all his life, and that's Nick. He is a director and the writer of this film, and he took it on. But with very little money, I believe we were giving like less than $30,000 Australian dollar to make the film. And at the beginning, we were thinking, oh, maybe we just put, something very quick together, like 30 minutes of, archive footage and interview with families, and then roll this credit and, say thank you for the money, and that's it. But when we started to dig in the story, we found it very, very fascinating. And then it just kept on growing and growing and growing. And now it's a 9 minutes film. How did we make this film? How do we complete this film with so few resources? And I would have to say it's just blind luck. We had a lot of luck, a lot of research, and a lot of perseverance, because we knock on people's door and they say no, or they just didn't listen to us or didn't respond to us. And we just find someone who could knock the door for us. And so this is what happened with this film. So let me go back because I think I skipped a slide. Okay, so here, so how do we research on the story, on the character? Because Anzac has been around for a very long time, and because it's a very important story, so it has been covered. Throughout the years, it has been covered. And we didn't want to do another Anzac soldier kind of film. We want to do something different. We want to take a different angle about Anzac. And first when we read books, and we found out that there's not there's there's some books about nurses, army nurses, but there has been no film about army nurses in Australia. There's only one TV series, and that was a drama. It's not a documentary. And so we say, well, what if we tell stories of army nurses? But then who are we going to talk about? Who are we going to feature? Because we cannot just tell a story about nurses in general. So we were thinking, because Malcolm Turnbull came to us and opened door for us, so we might give tribute to him and look for nurses based in his council. And so we went to a electorate and dig out your names, and then we pull out name of Maurice and Philip Porter, who's from the Malcolm Turnbull Council, who registered to vote there. But they, when we dig further, then we found out that even though they voted there, they registered to vote there, but their family came from rural area of New South Wales, not from Sydney. And that's a big plus, because we really want to talk about, because that gives us an opportunity to talk about two young women who came from nowhere. And after the war, they became famous. So that was a big plus for us. Then we search a wide range of material, and like books and newspapers and archive and everything. But then we found out that we have limited information about the army nurses. And then also, because research is a very, very important part, because when we do the research, we saw so many obstacles, stumble block of how to get the information, that we decided that we want research to be part of the film. And that's how we chose the format of Who Do You Think You Are, if you are familiar with. So I have two young presenters, to talk about the story of these two, to go and do research and to find out the life story of these two nurses, these two young women who play the two nurses, Nettie Maurice and Katie Porter. So what happened also was, we, as I mentioned before, we want to make the film look cinematic and have, because we have such low budget, but we want to make a professional looking film. And in order to do that, we need to access to big buildings, big government buildings, hospitals and everything. But what we call these places, no one got back to us, because we were just like a small, not a small, but we are not famous. We're not a network television. We were educational institutions, so no one got back to us. And we start thinking, what if we reach out to our local MP? And Susie, who is the other producer, there's two producers. Nick is a writer-director. Susie and I were both producers. So Susie wrote to her local MP, who had just became a member of the parliament then. And so she's very eager to help her community. And so she wrote, and we wrote to Gladys, who later became the Premier of New South Wales. someone's in the waiting room, I just admit him. So we wrote to Gladys, and sorry, I can't pronounce her name because it's Gladys. I'll give her name later. I can't pronounce her last surname because it's I think it's from I don't remember. I don't remember. But anyhow, we wrote to Gladys and we told her about the story that we want to tell. And she was immediately responsive to our message. And she said, this is a film that needed to be made, and I will do my best to help you guys through. And so she just waved her magical ministerial wand and she opened door for us. And she just tell her constituent, you better talk to them or else. And so all of a sudden we were waiting for months and months and months. No one got back to us. And then we started receiving calls. Everyone was calling us and say, what do you want? When do you want it? You know, when can we talk to you and everything? And that's how we get access to hospitals and not only location, but hospital records, which is very important because we want to trace the journey of these nurses since the day they were in training through to their journey overseas with World War I, in the front line, and then until the day they died. And so this is just gold. This information is just gold. So that make us understand that when we were making film, or when if people say no, it's just no, it's just not now, and we just have to look around and find someone who has some power, who has some influence, just to open doors and help us open doors. So this is and so once that's these doors were open to us, we were able to go to hospitals, get hospital records and war records. We have the Australian War Memorial, and so we were able to go to take records there, and then we went to and then we found out about, we go to look at family trees and we find out about family, and just keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. And the good things about finding the families of these people who were gone 100 years ago was that this family, because they live in rural areas, so they don't move, they didn't move around a lot. And so we just opened the phone books and called, just call people, say, are you this person? And then slowly we get to get contact with these family members. And when we told them about what we wanted to do, they were really, really supportive. And so we started to think of, do we want this to be a professional type of documentary where we have actors, perform, or do we want to make it just spontaneous? And we decided, because our young nurses, they were so naive and they were so innocent when they entered the war. For them, it's just like, oh, wow, I'm going to go on an adventure. So we want to find two young people who was young and innocent, like, Beth and Ashley that I showed you earlier. And we didn't really we want them to really discover throughout, the filmmaking. We didn't tell them everything. before they start the presenting. Only on the day of the when they were on set on that day, we tell them what they need to do that day, what they need to say that day. That's all they know. And for us as well, we discover as well, because as we interview people, we got more detail, we got more information, and there's many surprises all the way along. So we all discovered. And so when you see the feeling of the presenters on the screen, they're real, because they just say, oh my God, I didn't see this. Oh my God, I didn't know this. And we also want, when we talk to the family, we also encourage them to star in the film. And many of them say, no, I don't want to appear in front of the camera. I've never done it before, just interview me in the background and then write your story. But we said, no, you can do it. You can do it. We help you. And slowly, when they get into the film, they start become performers. As when they get into the film, that passion, that interest, just show and just become natural. Some, not all, some become natural. And one person, let me see. So yeah, so these are all the research that we have, because we want to be able to answer any question or provide any document that people ask after they see the film. So everything is documented. So yeah, so Maps, this person here, we were so lucky to have met her, because she is, Nellie Morris is one of the nurses. She is Morris family historian. She has gathered information for 30 years about the history of her family. So she has so much information and also pictures and everything that we need to help us along. And at first, she was a person who said, no, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to appear on the show. And she became one of the main actors in the film, and she just loved it. And the other people that we got in contact with was the great nephew. And this person here, she's a niece of one of Nellie Morris, who's one of the nurses. And for the Porter's family, for the other side, Kitty Porter, we were able to get contact with these three people. And this person here has some medals from Kitty that were stored in the UK. And that medal was given to Kitty from the king, of the British king, after she died, because she died after the war, and she brought into the film for us. And so these people, they were hugely instrumental. And Henry Porter, right now, he's a nephew of Kitty, and he still lives in the area. So he was able to take us to places where Kitty grew up, her schools, and all her family properties and everything. So we were able to include this in our story. And we also interview quite a few of experts. We need a lot of information about World War I, not just nurses, but also the situation that happened, in the front line. And so we have Thomas Kennelly. He's a quite a well-known author and historian in Australia. And Dr. Janet Butler. She's also an Australian a historian. Otherwise, we have curators, a librarian, and she's a nurse. She has a nurse museum where Kitty and Nellie used to train there, and now it's become a museum. And so, and this person, he worked at one of the biggest hospital here in Sydney, and he also has a nurse museum there. So they open up the facilities for us to go in and film, and not only that, they provide archive pictures. They provide all the information that we need to do our work. You know, they still have, you know, all these books where people come and check in and everything. And so that was really helpful. And as I mentioned before, we want, so as I mentioned before, we have a really small budget. And how do we make a film look big? To do that, we want to go to big building or beautiful places, and we also have someone in our team who can use the what you call that, a drone. Yeah, so we had many shots where we used drone, just like this one and this one here, and many other shots, just to make the film, you know, have more of a cinematic quality. And this is one of the hospital that we film in here. And here is one of the quarantine station. It used to be a quarantine station in Manly, right on the water, where immigrants who came to Australia had to go through and had quarantine here. And after World War I, all the soldiers who were ill had to come here, and we were able to film here, to set a set and film here. So now, when we started filming and doing all this interview, we just asked ourselves, you know, how do we make the emotion of the nurses come across? Because we don't have any film footage that we can use, archive footage from the nurses, from Nellie or Kitty, that we can use to show their experience, you know, on the front line. We just don't have this kind of experience. And Nellie has a war diary that we can use, but we had nothing from Kitty. And so that gave us the idea of, what if we take the interview, or we take the, when the family members talk us through the story, that we show some reenactment scenes about, you know, from the war zone, and how the nurses cope, or what did they have to do, the trauma that they went through in the war field. So, but then that is a reenactment. If you've done a reenactment before, reenactment is expensive, especially when you talk about historical reenactment. We got to have costumes and vehicle and gun and, you know, all the background and everything. So where do we get access to these places? But as a filmmaker, you have to keep your eyes open all the time. And Nick lives in the south of Sydney, and there's a festival. It's called Iron Fest. That's where all the reenactment team from different eras go there to exhibit, their service. And Nick was just thinking, what if I go there, to see what there is there? And so when he went there, he just walked around and he saw a line of tents, like tents that people use back then, during the war zone, in the war zone, as hospitals. We call it them hospital tents. And then he saw a big Red Cross, sign on the tent. And then when he went there, he saw nurses, dressed in their uniform, and soldiers in khakis and guns and everything. And he said, wow, this is like, World War I here. So he approached the team and he said, well, this is our film. We're making this film, and we need some soldiers to do some reenactment for us. Are you interested? And immediately they say, of course, we are interested. This is a great story we've never heard of before. We want to support you. And that's it. And that's how we got the reenactment team. And that's how we were able to do reenactment, to include reenactment scenes in our film, because without them, there's no way. And not only they provide us with everything, not just people, but props and all the equipment, everything. They also helped us get us borrow costumes for nurses, because they have nurses there. And so this is the reenactment team. All of these people, they are part of the reenactment team, and they never ask us for money. They say, we want to do it. And the team leader of this group, he was just like an associate producer. He was there and he was do everything for us. And all of our scene in the war zone, we need soldiers. So they were always there for the reenactment team. They were always there. 1, 2, sometimes like 20 people, like in this scene, the big scene, the battlefield, there's like 20 people there. And let me show you what this area looked like before we set up this scene. And actually it was James, who's the leader of this team, who introduced us to this man who owns the land. This is a huge piece of land that he used to rent out to film makers who want to shoot war film. So it's already have trenches there. And so we contacted the landlord and we told the landlord about the film, and he said, use it, you don't need to pay us. So we went there. And so this is how the field looks like. It's barren, it has nothing, but it has trenches. And the reenactment team came and they brought all of this with them. We didn't bring anything. They brought everything, they set up everything, and we're color grading and clever shooting. We made this look like, we made Sydney looks like France in World War I. And so I think that is pretty much the journey that we went through. So what's so after while we were toward the end, when we were toward the end of shooting the film, I took a holiday to go to Europe, and I was going to go to France during that trip. So I talked to Nick and I say, well, I'm gonna be in Paris, and this front line is only a few hours north of Paris. So if you want, I can go there and I can film, this area where we talked about in our film. And I did some research and I told him that there was some potential. And he said, yeah, go ahead and do it. But when I went there, I get some more information because I had some local people, some French people, local people who tell me what to look for and give me contacts and everything. But I couldn't make it because it was toward the end of the year. It was really, really, really cold. But I have a ton of information and all the area that we need that would be attracted to us to put into our film, just to show people, because we have been talking about France. Most of our war scene is in France. And if we have something about it that would make people relate more, and it will also have some kind of international appeal. And the next year, Nick, when he went on holiday, went back to the UK to visit his family, he went to the area where we researched, and then he did some, and then he filmed. He made some filming there to incorporate in the film. And some area has been totally rebuilt, but there's other area where you could see cemeteries, and you can, no area was intact, but you can go there and you could feel it because there's memorial. And also there's one place where there's a plaque for the Australian soldiers, commemorating Australian soldiers. And actually the whole team was supposed to go there because I've set up everything to interview people and to film and everything. But finally we couldn't make it. But Nick did bring back some footage and that was very good. So what else do I want to, do you have any question or, okay, so one last thing is that it's about, so toward the end, then we were looking for screening places. And for us, it's, we are going to screen in a theater for our students, mostly for staff and students and crew. But while one day Nick was in the in school doing editing, and the Minister of Education just stopped by, and it was a Friday night and there was no one there, all the students left. Oh, he stumbled into the editing room and he said, what are you guys doing? And Nick started to show him a small scene of the film and tell him about the story. And he said, well, when is it, when are you guys going to finish? And he said, well, we don't know. It depends on, the kind of resources we have. And he said, when you guys get finished, tell me, I'm going to bring it to the Parliament House and screen it there. And he kept his word. And he and Gladys, who was the MP, she resigned now. She just resigned this year. But they together, they push it through, even though it was at that time we start, Sydney started dealing with COVID and lots of problem, but they still push it through. And finally, we got a screening there. And when we screened there, during the time that we contact people and everything to organize a screening, then Gladys introduced us to the president of the RSL club in Australia. RSL clubs, Sherry would know, it's very important for veterans. So they are like eating clubs, dining clubs with like a little casino, but big dining clubs, and they're all over the country. It's like hundreds of them. And that person, I forgot his name. So he came to the premiere of the film and he said, I want to screen this in our clubs. And he, his team's already contact us, and I've started to work on marketing material for them, to show, and then we got locked down. But that's how the film started to get spread out. The words got spread out about the film, and we got many more nurses organizations, and local communities, from where the nurses came from in the rural areas, and this reenactment team, they have a lot of people who want to see the film, but we have not been able to show it because we have been in lockdown. But maybe next year. But one good thing that came with this film is that it's not just the film, because when we finish the film, we again approached Gladys, the premiere, and we said, we are thinking of making a plaque to commemorate the nurses, the war nurses. Would you be open to helping us? And she gave us some money to do it. And we made a bronze memorial, a bronze plaque with the name of the two nurses there. And we put it in we were going to put it at the Sydney Hospital. Sydney Hospital has, inside the courtyard, there's a beautiful fountain. We were going to put it there. And on the plaque, there's a QR code that when people scan it, it will bring it to, give us a link, take us to the link to see the film. But it's
wow.
Yeah, it's not happening right now because everything stopped, and we have not released the film yet. Yeah, so it just becomes something more, much more than the film, and that's what we were hoping for. So what else do I want to tell you? Yeah, about the actors. So another way for us to bring some, I won't say prestige, but I would say credibility or whatever you can think of to the film is to get some people with names, recognized name into the film. And these people were more behind the scene. These people were, we had the person who made all the wounds, who like special makeup artists who help us with making all the wounds of the soldiers. He is very, very well known here. He has worked on many films and dressed many wounds, had created many wounds and prosthetic and everything. The person who did makeup, she had worked on the ABC series about the nurses, as I mentioned before. And who else was there? And she brought some of her students with her and they all, they all give away their, their time for us. And there's one more person, I just escaped my mind. Oh yeah, and the narrator, Jen Renault, she's a TV personality. And all of these people gave us their time for free. And I believe it just because of the nature of the film. And because we also from education institution, we want to give the film away to schools so that the students can learn more about the history, of Anzac beyond the soldiers. because right now, no one talk about that. And the last time when we showed the film, we had to invite the TAFE. TAFE is a vocational school who made that film. They have many facilities everywhere. And last time the manager, the manager of New South Wales, the managing director of TAFE New South Wales came to see the film. And she said, I want everyone, in Sydney to see the film. And she asked us to organize a huge showing because we were thinking, oh, how many people can we get for our next showing? Because we've invited everyone. And she said, you guys go ahead. We give you the facility and just go, and we send the people to you and everything stopped. But so that's just want to tell you how lucky we were. We were so fortunate, and also, like I mentioned before, where we couldn't get access, and we tried to see who could get access for us. And we always have our eyes open, for, this 18 battalion reenactment team. And when I went, to France, and I was thinking, yeah, maybe we should have, this footage. And so you always keep your eyes open, and, you grab opportunities, when they're there. So I think that's about it. That's all I have. Oh yeah, one last thing is about archive. It's very important, visual and video archive. Here in Australia, we have a film and sound archive, which would have all this footage, but we approached them and they are ridiculously expensive, like 10-second of film of a war footage would cost us thousands and thousands of dollars. We could, there's no way we could afford. And even when we told them that we are in educational institution, they say, we treat everyone the same. And also the Australian War Memorial, they also have this kind of footage, and it's very expensive. And by chance, I stumbled on this European war website, war archive website, and then I found some footage that we really liked, and then I found out that it's it's from IWM in the UK. I forgot what his name was. IWM. It's something, they deal with war as well. Just like Australian War Memorial, but International War Memorial, something like that. And then I approached the librarian there, and I told her about what we're doing, and this is the footage I found on the website, and you said it's free to use and everything. Can we have them for free? And she said, no, you can't have them for free, but we need to only charge you a processing fee just because you are an educational institution. And so for 10, I think 12, we selected 12 film, and they charge us like £150. And we didn't have to pay for the usage fee unless we show it in public, unless we show the film to commercial area. And Nick is right now discussing the film with the some television network, and when they show it, they will be paying for that, for that usage fee. We don't have to. And so there you go. And this is our flyers about the film that we hand out at the premiere. And this is what happened at the premiere. It was in July. So that's it.
Oh, that's lovely. No, that was a beautiful presentation. Thank you very much. So if anybody has any quick questions for Vivien, because we're starting to run out of time. And you'll have Vivien's email tomorrow morning when I send out the link for this recorded version of our meeting and the chat. So, you can contact Vivien personally and ask her any more detailed questions.
Christine, can you turn off my share screen, please?
Oh, okay.
I don't want people to see all the things I do.
I had taken you off as co-host. So,
Okay, good. Yeah, great.
but I don't know why it's still showing your
Oh,
screen.
still showing.
Still showing your screen on the.
I just
Did you
want
close
to
it?
put. No, wait, I just want to put the link of the trailer for Duck, and then I can
Or if
post
you
my
put it in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll put it in the chat. Okay.
So Vivian, I think you need to press the red at the bottom to stop sharing. And if you go to the bottom of your screen where it says share screen, I think you can stop it. Or maybe at the top of your screen. If you hover your mouse over the top, it might say
Yeah.
stop share.
Okay, great.
Okay.
There you go.
Good.
All right, great.
Because I just wanted to talk a bit about going to the American Film Market. And Asia, who was supposed to have been here tonight, she's also there, but I haven't seen her. I had spoken to her and she said it was a very good place to go to meet people last year when she went to the online AFM American Film Market. So I thought, well, should I or shouldn't I? Because it's like $440 Canadian to go for the 5 days. So Thursday, I bit the bullet and paid the money. And so it takes a couple of days for the registration to go through. So Saturday and Sunday, I spent both days checking the attendance list. You can sort them by different criteria. So I sorted them by producer who I was looking for. I also checked out what other writers had put on their profile. And it's very important if you go to any of these markets to tell people why you are there, because some people just put their tags in, but they didn't say, I'm here to do X, to find a producer. I said, I'm looking for an agent and producer for my 9 feature scripts and 4 TV pilots, and I talked about the 3 horror comedies that I've produced, and make sure you check your links. If you put any links on your profile that they work, because the link I gave for my YouTube channel, it wasn't the best one. I found a better one, but they still have to scroll down to see the trailers for my movies. And of course, you put your IMDb profile link and your website, email, website, all that kind of stuff. So like I said, I started messaging people, telling them that I'm selling these scripts. And right after I had registered at AFM, 2 producers contacted me. This is before messaging. And one of them I had a meeting with last night, and he's from Singapore, and he asked for my thriller script as a sample, writing sample, because he's looking for a female writer to rewrite a horror script that his company has. Plus he liked some of my other stuff. Now the thing is, I made two documents, one with my feature scripts on it. And I also put it, if it had any coverage, how many locations they were, how many pages they were, how many characters, and the same for the TV pilot. So I had two documents that I was able to send him ahead of time. So again, have these documents. And then, of course, he said, what else are you working on? And I told him about the two horror scripts that I'm working on, but I'm having a hard time working on them because, of course, some scripts are easier to work on than others. And he says, oh, well, I want to see those as soon as you finish them. And it's like, oh, no, now you got to work on something else. And then a few other producers messaged me back today and said they want to get to meeting me in January after AFM. So that was interesting because I guess, things are busy for them during these 5 days. And then they have these networking rooms. And I was talking to one person, they signed up 2 weeks ago. They said that they were scheduling meetings with people 2 weeks ago. And I said, oh, I guess you have to go as soon as you can. And so next year, if I'm going to go, I'll register right at the beginning. As soon as registration is open, make your profile so people can see you, because it seems, that there's so many people, and scheduling time is limited, unless of course you do your own private Zoom meetings, because they have my AFM Zoom meetings that you can schedule your own for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you want it. And you can add multiple people to your Zoom meeting. So like right now, I'm certainly glad I went. I'm meeting a lot of people. I'm keeping track of everybody that I've contacted and messaged, just in case they don't get back to me. And then I've got their name and company name to follow up after AFM. And then we're supposed to have access to all of these names and sessions and everything for, I think, at least 3 months afterwards. So, it's certainly something different. And I'll also include tomorrow about where to market your scripts, because someone was saying that I can't remember who was it. Oh, Pat, you were saying you were contacting people on LinkedIn and script writers.
Yeah. You can, there's limited access at just the regular level. At the premium level, if you're lucky enough to score a month freebie tryout, you just put in keywords, whether you want producers, production assistants, whatever it is you're marketing, and it will come up with a list of people, and you can just message them and contact them that way. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, because I've been trying to link in with more screenwriters. And one thing I'm asking them, how and where are you marketing your scripts? And so I found a new place that, well, it's just finished in September, a new market for script writers, and it's in London. So it was a virtual one. And the lady who referred me, she said, she got work out of it. So I'll certainly look into it for next year. So I'll send you that document tomorrow. Was it Nick? Nick, were you asking something?
I was just wondering, for marketing, does that pertain to like shorts as well? Short films? Or?
Some people are interested in doing shorts, yes.
Short
Okay.
scripts, you mean, not
Short
not
scripts,
talking
yeah.
about films. Yeah.
Short scripts, yeah.
Yeah, and so like I told you, the ink tip, you can post the log lines of your short scripts for free on their website. And the other places charge for it, like you'll get the list tomorrow. So if anybody else has any other ones, please let me know and I'll include it on that sheet. Okay, so I think we'll start winding down. Quite a few people have left, but you'll get, like I said, tomorrow the email with the link for this so we can watch it again. But Vivien, that was a beautiful presentation. And I certainly commend you for really checking out all of the free things that you could get. Like, how long did it take you? How long did it take you to complete the film?
Post-production took a long time. Because as I mentioned, this is we need to use students or teachers.
Right.
We can't hire anybody outside, and
Right.
students, they come and go, they don't stay. And so we had problem with color grading and sound production. And we could not find a student who's good at either color grading or sound production. And it just, and it just like drag on, people start committing and then they fell out and then we keep on drag on. So it took like, altogether is 6 years from the day we start the project.
Wow, yeah.
It's really frustrating at times, but we really had no control. But in the end, we got this editor who's a student from Iranian, actually student refugee, and in his country, he was a film director. And he had made many films, and one of the short film that he made here was filmed at a film festival and was accepted at the Cannes Festival, but not the real Cannes Festival, the short Cannes Festival. And he was extremely talented because when he edited, he has the mind of the director. He's also the editor, and he also did editing when he directed his film. So we were very fortunate, but at the same time, we could not control, you know, our flow of work because we don't have enough people. There's three of us who stay from the beginning to the end. That's Nick, Susie, and I. And other people just come and go. And one of the GOP also, and he moved away, he moved to Canada to get married. And he was from Turkey. And he was a student, you know, at TAFE. And when he helped us, he had been the DOP for a television network in Turkey to cover the Olympic Games.
Wow.
So how lucky were we
to
find these people? And I think it's just like pure luck. And when we started putting the crew together, we just talked to the teachers. You know? We said, who do you recommend?
Good.
So it took a long time. Too long, I would say.
Okay, so we're next going to be meeting on Monday, November the 15th. So that's 2 weeks. So Patricia, what are you going to be working on those 2 weeks?
I got to get into the middle of my script, my sci-fi detective caper, and still keeping up on just researching producers. I have my Shriekfest brochure with everybody's name, so I'll be looking up these guys too, see if I can contact them on LinkedIn
to market your horror script. Good. Jeffrey.
I'm going to start casting for my short, call it short film, the scenes from my my pilot and buying a camera.
Good, good. Nick.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna continue working on the short script, The Face of the Milk Carton, Laura Williams, 1994. It'll be, right now I'm like 8 to 10 pages, but hopefully I'll be like 15 to 20 pages by our next call. And I tend to like to work on scripts that are relative to the season. So I want to start my script development for the holiday film that I want to work on. So I'm excited about that and wrapping up the horror. Also just reading up more on short scripts, like how it works and the fundamentals of it, as well as a lot of like this short, the suspense one entails a lot of flashbacks. So I know there was a session on flashbacks. I'm going to review my notes and then maybe read up more on flashbacks and how I can incorporate them, because that's a challenge right now for me. I don't have that much experience in it. So yeah, but I'll keep you guys updated on the next call.
Good. Shadow.
Just as I said, I'm just going to continue with the Eartha Kitt stuff, and with new episodes on Sin 13. I have to try to get those organized and funded for the new year, because I want to shoot four more right now, out of 13 total. Want to get them done as soon as I can. Thank you.
Great. So Vivien, you're going to be working on your rom-com pitch deck.
We have to turn in, the deadline to turn it in is on the 5th of November, which is a few days from now. I'm just put all my focus on that. And on the 12th, we will pitch. So I will need to rehearse and prepare for my pitch. That's what I will be working on.
Oh, good. Good luck. Rosie.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think my connection is a bit unstable, so I'm just have video off. For the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to try and write as much as possible. And I mentioned that kind of script earlier, the thriller. I'm going to try and finish up on that one. If I can start something new, great. But I think it's just going to be writing and catching up on, I think I missed a couple of these meetings. So I'm going to go back and watch them online. And I think it's just like a catch-up week. And then to have enough energy in 2 weeks to do this meeting again. So that will be all.
Doug McDougall.
Hi guys, I'm off on an adventure tomorrow. I call it like a road trip or an Easter egg hunt, because I'm going to be sourcing out costumes and props all over the GTA. I know that some of you here in Canada will recognize these places like Value Village, because everything is 50% off tomorrow for Halloween.
Yes, yes.
Spirit Halloween is another place that has 50% off tomorrow, and Party City. So I already found one great find today, which was a Princess Leia wig, and there's Princess Leia in my show. It was the last one there at Value Village, and I got it half price. It was like, yes, it was just meant to be. Also, we rehearse 3 times a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, about three-hour sessions each time. And we'll be doing some one-on-one music tutorials and some workshopping scenes. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, you're going to be very busy.
Mm-hmm.
And Manuel, you came in late, so you've got to tell us what happened the last 2 weeks and the next 2 weeks.
Yes. Last week I couldn't attend because I was out of town. But hopefully I'm still here, and there's no electricity here, and my battery is running low now on my laptop. Yeah, but I've just stopped writing a bit because of I faced writer's block for my 2 projects, I decided to contact producers and agents to marketing my three-part TV series, The Cabal, which I also upgraded my IMDb page to Pro so that I can have more contact with the agents. And I'm also doing it on LinkedIn too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just keeping sending out the query letters, and that's it.
Persistence.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. And I also get the example of Vivien when she was talking about the stories during the production of a documentary, which is opportunities happens along the way. You have to start, and something is gonna meet you all the way. That's it.
But you also have to let people know that you need help and how they can help any little way they can. And
Absolutely.
people, if you don't ask for too many big things, like start off with little things, you never know, they might offer you big things later on.
Yeah,
because,
because
you have to show them the value of your project.
Right.
Yes,
and that's why your pitching is very important, to be very succinct. Your words have to be, and you have to speak slowly so that people can, comprehend it. And to have, like Vivien had that paper that she, that beautiful paper that you gave at the end, right? At the screening that people could take away.
Yeah,
and they could think about it, and probably people came back to you and said, like, how can I help you promote this? So, and it looked like a very professional quality sheet. So that's very important, that you make sure all of your documents are quality, and you've researched it, and there's no spelling mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And even with that printed, it's got to be color correct, because it's a beautiful color, 4-color print. It has to go with the project. Manuel's leaving us. So for myself, so I'm going to be carrying on. Well, this week I'm busy with AFM, and so I'll have tell you more stories about what's happened with any of my leads and that, and then after that I have to work on my Christmas toy maker, finish editing it so I can send it off, and my action thriller at Niagara Falls, Baptism Falls, and there was, must tell you, at Ink Tip, there was a producer looking for a Christmas script in 5 locations or less. So I'm trying to let my brain percolate that to see about, I've got a general idea for a story, but how to keep it in 5 locations. Now, they didn't say minimum number of characters, but you wouldn't have hundreds, but 5 locations. So that's like a good writing challenge for everybody else. Okay, so everybody.
Christine, can I ask a question, Christine?
Sure.
First, thank you for sharing your experience with AMA. Second, would you be able to, next, sessions or so, talk to us a little bit more about what's required for a Christmas script or a Hallmark kind of script? Do they have any structure that we need to follow, or is there any way we can find out?
Oh yes, there's I found it on Google. There's lots of places.
Okay.
And then there was a couple of webinars that I had to pay for them. About writing a Christmas script. I'll send you those links.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm also working on a holiday script too. So yeah, that'll be nice too.
Okay, so
thank you, Christine.
For Nick and Vivien, I'll send you about the Christmas links. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody keep well and healthy, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, Monday, November 15th.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.